And we continue at 1:06 in the afternoon. Talk Radio 790 KABC, the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wangs in Culver City.
John, this morning, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass was having a press conference downtown to talk about cleaning up after the fires and the upcoming rainstorms. And what do you think happened to a local elected official whenever they have a press conference downtown?
Was there a siren?
They can clear an entire area instead of going house by house. So this is an unprecedented disaster recovery effort. And my number one objective is always to do everything possible to make sure that families can rebuild their homes and their lives as quickly and as safely as possible.
She got sirened.
I don't think they can have an outdoor press conference without the sirens going.
That was indoors.
Well, at least 911 works down here.
Oh, you're so optimistic.
800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. Speaking of sirens, it's now time to open up the California Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And Randy, the first edition takes us to the San Fernando Valley.
There is a burglary crew that is terrorizing residents in Studio City. While you have local electeds talking tough that they're going to go after anyone trying to loot in the burn zones in Los Angeles, turns out you can loot with impunity as long as you're in a place that's not currently on fire. For more, here's KTLA.
Residents in a Studio City neighborhood say they are being targeted by a group of burglars who strike while the homeowner is away. Police believe...
Well, that would be smart.
If they show up while you're there, that's called a cat burglar.
Police believe they're responsible for a series of burglaries because the thieves leave behind a calling card.
Rachel Benetoff live in Studio City.
That tells you they don't care about getting caught.
They leave behind a calling card. What, were they big fans of the old Adam West Batman series?
Oh, it's better.
Rachel Benetoff live in Studio City with the disturbing security footage and reaction from frightened homeowners tonight. Rachel.
Were they frightened or were they pissed off?
It sounds like they were pissed off.
Micah Scher, it seems in this case and several others, thieves are targeting large modern homes while people are away on vacation. The group typically consists of three.
Always leave that car in the driveway, people.
Leave the light on. Do what you have to do to convince the neighborhood you're home.
The group typically consists of three people and a getaway car. And yes, if you've seen Home Alone, there is an element here that might sound familiar to you. Several people in this neighborhood have said it seems LAPD is stretched thin. They've been preoccupied in the fire zones, and burglars might be taking advantage of this.
Of course they are.
So wait, they're copying Joe Pesci and Stern?
Just wait.
On January 31st, just before 9:30 p.m., cameras capture a white Mercedes parked at the intersection of Clump Avenue and Valley Spring Lane in Studio City. If you zoom in even closer...
You know, I don't know who exactly names all the streets, but I would not want to live on Clump.
No. And why are they in a Mercedes and not a stolen Kia like everyone else?
All the Kias are gone.
If you zoom in even closer, you'll see three people in hoodies exit, hop the 12-foot fence of an upscale rental home, while a fourth stands guard behind the wheel.
This is a very close-knit, safe community, or has been.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're wearing a hoodie and it's not raining, people should be looking at you sideways.
But
no, that's profiling, John. You can't do that.
I see.
But lately, with two robberies on this very same street,
Clump got hit twice.
Yeah, they need to change that name.
We all feel very vulnerable.
These images were taken from Tony Lucente's home.
This is really a slap in the face to the community and to the LAPD.
Hey, that rhymed.
It's not a slap in the face to the LAPD. It's a slap in the face to the person they robbed.
This is really a slap in the face to the community and to the LAPD, in my opinion. That they
Oh, boy, they had the mic a little too close to him.
Yeah, no kidding.
Can hear him gurgle.
in my opinion.
What did he have, the chicken marsala for lunch?
That they can do this without any recourse.
Their next
Well, they know they're not getting caught.
Yeah. Welcome to California, buddy.
I believe you have an 85% chance when you commit a burglary of never getting arrested. Those are the numbers that George Gascon was touting for why we shouldn't charge people with burglary.
Well, and if you kill someone, there's only a 50% chance you actually go to prison, right?
Quite frankly.
And if you're OJ, it's a 0% chance.
Their next move, the band of burglars shatter the glass door around back to gain entry and seem to leave with sacks filled with valuables.
Okay, these guys are straight out of a cartoon.
Yeah.
There's an unusual twist to this, though. The group left the kitchen faucet running and the refrigerator open in what the homeowners believe is a nod to the wet bandits in the 1990 movie Home Alone.
So these fools were sitting around watching old movies, and they thought to themselves, hey, these guys, it would seem to work out for them, robbing homes and leaving the water on and the refrigerator door open. Why don't we do that in the San Fernando Valley?
Did they not watch the last 20 minutes of that movie?
Yeah, no kidding.
I think both Pesci and Daniel Stern were clinically dead 7 times.
How many shots did they take to the crotch?
You know, that's the only thing that's going to learn these bastards. We need an 8-year-old that knows what's going on in Studio City and sets up that house with lots of elaborate traps.
I'd be down for that.
Supposedly there are a lot of break-ins like this happening right now, all following the same trend of breaking glass, like sliding glass doors on the side of the house and turning on the water and ransacking the house when no one's home.
Less than 10 minutes.
The only reason you go as far as to pay homage to the wet bandits is you know you're not getting caught.
What thieves typically do is they get out as quickly as possible, and they don't want to leave any kind of marker in terms of who they are. They certainly don't want to get on the radar of the news or the police department, because usually when they pay attention to it, they'll figure out who's doing it. But these people just don't care.
Less than 10 minutes later, they get back into their getaway car and are seen turning around in a nearby driveway and take off.
I walk down the street every day, whether it's blistering heat or pouring rain.
I don't know if I would do that.
No. No, you may want to find a new hobby. Get a treadmill.
That's what the inside is for.
Sanford Brokaw says he thinks twice every time.
That's a good name.
Sanford Brokaw?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he be doing the news in Minot, North Dakota?
Sanford Brokaw says he thinks twice every time he steps out, even if it's just for a few hours.
And that fear, which I didn't have 30 years ago, but that fear was like, what if somebody smashes my front windows and takes my dog? And it's scary to me.
And police say they believe
it takes your dog. So wait, we've gone from the storyline of Home Alone and we've moved on to Beethoven?
Yep. We're hitting all the 90s classics.
And police say they believe this same group is hitting other parts of Studio City and North Hollywood. So far, though, no arrests have been made.
What did we say about the difference between crime stories in Orange County and crime stories in L.A. County?
In Orange County, they get caught.
So far, though, no arrests have been made. We're live in Studio City tonight. I'm Rachel Menitoff. Cher, Micah, back to you.
There you go. Criminals who are so brazen, they're literally paying homage to Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern from Home a Freaking Loan.
All right, Randy, it's time to reopen the California crime blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And this installment takes us back to Fresno,
where some jackasses stole some cash registers. For more, here is ABC 30. I think that's Action News.
Central California's #1 news. This is ABC 30 Action News. After the game.
That can't be happening around here. And there's families, everywhere here.
There's families everywhere.
Yeah. That's usually who lives in homes.
3 people, including a teenager, are behind bars tonight.
Notice already the difference between a story that doesn't happen in L.A. County?
If it happens in L.A. County or Oakland, you can do whatever you want. If it happens anywhere else, you go to jail.
3 people, including a teenager, are behind bars tonight after running off with cash registers from 2 Fresno businesses. Good evening and thanks for joining us for Action News After the Game. I'm Nick Garcia. The Brazen thieves targeted the Best Buy at River Park and the Deli Delicious near the Manchester Center.
Not Deli Delicious.
What is that, some kind of black market Subway?
I appreciate the alliteration. How much money are you really getting from a sub sandwich shop?
I wonder if anyone's gotten hit over there over ham.
What are you going to do, hit me over ham?
And the Deli Delicious.
That was Fresno, too.
It's dangerous work in those sandwich shops.
And the Deli Delicious near the Manchester Center. Action News reporter Vince Ibarra joins us live from River Park with how shoppers are reacting to the robberies caught on camera. Vince.
Well, Nick, people we spoke with say they're a little scared and very much concerned. The shoppers that we spoke with earlier this afternoon say they were surprised to see that someone was so bold enough to go inside of a store, take 2 cash registers in broad daylight with so many people around to witness the crime.
Isn't that usually why you bring a sack with you to take the money and you don't have to take the whole cash register with it?
That doesn't seem like a good use of your time if you're the criminal.
This video released by the Fresno Police Department shows a man walking out of Best Buy with 2 cash registers. Fresno Police says the suspect walked behind the counter before grabbing the 2 registers and proceeded to walk out of the store on February 1st, a little before 5 p.m.
So wait, he did this while the store was open?
That doesn't look suspicious at all, does it?
You know, Best Buy usually doesn't have as big of a theft problem as some of the other stores because they do what Costco does, where they have a guy check your receipt when you walk out the store. So does this guy walk out the store and he had a receipt for the 2 cash registers he stole?
Well, what's some retiree going to do to some teenager with 2 stolen cash registers?
In the video, you can see employees trying to stop the suspect in the red jacket.
They feel they're entitled to rob us or rob the stores because nobody's going to do nothing about it. You're not going to try to stop them because you don't know whether they're going to be dangerous.
The suspect was seen running through the parking lot with another man before leaving in an unidentified vehicle.
That one might be a Kia.
They could just amend the story and say they left in an unidentified stolen Kia.
Police say moments later, this Deli Delicious was robbed on Shields near Highway 41.
How dare they do that to Deli Delicious?
I wonder how many gift cards they stole.
Deli Delicious was robbed on Shields near Highway 41. Anthony Brian Rojas and Raymond Rojas were later stopped by Reedley police. When officers searched their vehicle, they say they found an excessive amount of cash. The 2 were arrested for robbery and conspiracy to commit a crime. An unidentified...
There's something so refreshing about any story that we do where somebody gets arrested at the end of it.
They found him with a specific amount of cash, and they found him with provolone.
An unidentified teenager was taken into custody by Sanger police. Investigators say the suspect abandoned the cash registers. A person found the empty registers and contacted the Fresno Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office made police aware of the discovery.
Hopefully that...
They should have just dumped all those cash registers in that one neighborhood in Sacramento.
It is where everyone goes to dump their old electronics.
Maybe that's where OJ threw the knife.
Hopefully that they'll prosecute these people to the fullest extent so that they'll be less likely to do it again and other people maybe won't follow in their footsteps.
Nah, they'll probably slap the teenager on the wrist.
Oh, yeah. They'll be back at that Best Buy before you know it.
Fresno resident Chip Dahl says since hearing of the robbery, he's concerned about public safety. Brenna Soto agrees.
Putting myself in those shoes, walking into the store, that's pretty scary to encounter something like that. Even looking at it live, I don't know what I would do.
Soto shops at River Park often. She says she's now starting to think about what she would do in case of an emergency.
I'm telling you, it's one of the sad aspects of this. When you see so much theft in the retail space, there are some people that don't want to deal with that, and so they give more money to Bezos, and then what do you know? More stores go out of business.
Well, either you give more money to Bezos or you show up to the mall with a weapon.
The Fresno Police Department is handling this investigation. We did reach out for more information regarding this case, but we have yet to hear back. Live at River Park, I'm Vince Ibarra, ABC 30 Action News.
There you go, the cash register thieves that got caught in Fresno.
And Randy, we have time for one more addition to the California Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
Questions?
And this crime took place at 30,000 feet.
Someone went crazy on an Alaska Airlines flight, and the flight attendant had no choice but to punch him in the face.
And if you look at the video, to go back to the Adam West Batman series, that's pretty much what it looked like.
For more, here is NBC News. Whoa!
That pretty much sounds like the audio of every flight I've ever been on.
Now, is that the scream of someone that was getting assaulted by the crazy guy, or is that the crazy guy when he get punched in the face?
Well, it sounds like me at 6'4" when someone reclines their seat back into me.
Disturbing moments on board this Alaska Airlines flight as a passenger appears to lose control. A flight attendant jumping in to subdue the man, at times punching him, trying to get the passenger to release the hair of 32-year-old Erica Ramos sitting in front of him.
He was pulling the hair of the woman in front of him?
Oh, yeah. And if you've seen the whole video, the flight attendant punches him and punches him again and punches him again, and then goes, hey, you want to buy the credit card?
60,000 bonus miles if you spend 3,000 within your first 2 months.
That's business class to Hawaii.
In front of him.
Let go of her hair, sir.
Let go of her hair, sir. They're still so respectful.
Everything's sir and ma'am on Alaska.
You know, I guarantee one day when there's nothing going on, we could just open the phones to flight attendants and tell us the craziest thing you've seen. It'd be 3 hours nonstop.
Oh, well, I mean, everything that they see on a daily basis. Everyone's in a bad mood at the airport or on the airplane. And you can take someone who's normally okay and you put them in that environment and they turn into an a-hole on steroids.
It just shows you how beautiful travel is, that people put up with so much hell at the airport and on the plane to get to places.
Well, nothing at the airport makes sense. Think about it. Before you're even let onto the premises, you have to take your shoes off. You have to take your belt off. You have to take your laptop out of the case. You have to put it all on a conveyor belt. You have to go through. You have to walk through a metal detector to make sure you don't have any weapons on you. And then the moment you get through, they give you all the booze you can drink and a knife.
Really wasn't sure what was happening in that moment. I was afraid that this person was going to start punching me.
Erica escaping the seat and the flight attendant calling for backup. Erica says the attack caused pain.
They used the loudspeaker. Hey, I need you in the back of the plane. Stop with the drink cart. I need someone to help me right now.
This is your captain speaking. If you look out the left side of the aircraft, you'll see the Gulf of America. And if you look at 36D, there's a lunatic holding a woman by the hair.
Erica says the attack caused painful swelling, and she's still getting headaches 9 days later. There was a moment where we actually see your face in that video turn around and look at him. What were you thinking, and did you say anything to him?
I did not say anything to him.
What are you going to say?
Well, in all fairness, if you flew coach on Alaska, you'd have a headache 9 days later under the best of circumstances.
I did not say anything to him. I think I was just really in shock. From my understanding of things, he was having a psychotic episode, and I didn't necessarily want to interact with him and possibly make things worse.
The plane.
Now, wait a minute. If he's having a psychotic episode, why isn't he on Spirit with the rest of them?
Yeah, what is this exactly? Was this too much booze, not enough booze? Was he planning on taking a Xanny bar, but he took the wrong pill? What happened?
Plane, still on the ground, was scheduled to fly to Portland, Oregon from Oakland, California on February.
Hey, there's an Oakland connection to this story.
There you go.
I said, hell no, baby boy. Let me get up on out of here.
Take SFO, kids. Always take SFO. Take San Jose.
Well, before you get on this plane, I'd rather walk.
February 1st, but after the chaotic ordeal, it was forced to return to its gate so authorities could intervene. It's not every day that you see flight attendants throwing punches to try to subdue an unruly passenger. Was that the right move there?
Yes.
What else are you supposed to do?
The flight attendant who had to respond to this took the immediate actions that you would take if you were able to take the crew member self-defense training. We're in a confined space. We cannot call for help. There's no other way to do this. And there was imminent danger here. And so the passenger needed to have action against them in order to stop what they were doing in severely harming another passenger.
Alaska Airlines telling NBC News in part that the man appeared to be experiencing a violent medical episode that involved an ongoing physical assault against other passengers and our crew.
That's one way to describe it.
They're giving this guy the benefit of the doubt.
Well, he still got banned.
Our crew responded to the chaotic situation quickly and kept all guests safe.
Except the woman that got her hair pulled.
Yeah, she had a bad day.
Adding that the man has been banned from future flights. The airline has found itself at the center of increased public scrutiny recently after multiple...
Okay, I think we got the gist of the story. The rest is on how the door fell out of the plane. We know.
I love the fact that the punishment now is that this guy has to ride the Greyhound.
Well, he can't fly Alaska anymore. And maybe the other one world partners like American. But believe you me, Frontier will take him.
What do you do if you're the flight attendant after you punch him a few times and get him to let go of the woman's hair? Do you put him in the lavatory and just lock the door and keep him there until the plane lands?
We're going to have to start on all new models of planes having a brig.
Put his head in the toilet, give him a swirly. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
PR writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com and had a question. Are we 100% sure that that guy that went crazy on the Alaska flight wasn't former presidential candidate and Virginia Governor Howard Dean? Let's compare.
I think he was the governor of Vermont, wasn't he?
Oh, you might be right.
I'll tell you what it sounded like to me. Have you seen any of those videos of what is inevitably a woman who is a women's studies major with purple hair and so many piercings in her face that she looked like she got attacked by a stapler, where they always film themselves in the car reacting to Donald Trump being elected, and they scream just like that?
Oh, here's another email I got to read before we go. This one comes from Richard, who writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. The Alaska Airlines scream. You guys need to play that every time you hear the fake doctor's voice, because that's what I hear in my head.
And speaking of the fake doctor, if you want to go back and listen to an episode about her, Randy, that's easy to do.
Yeah. Go to KABC.com, click on podcast. Go to the Apple Podcast app, iHeart, Spotify, search for The John Phillips Show, hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes.
Next slide.
Do a Google on the YouTube or get that handy-dandy KABC app.
No, thank you.
Search KABC AM in the Apple App Store, the Android Store. It's the easiest way to listen live to this radio station and download all the podcasts.
I have a hard time understanding.
The big news coming out of Washington, D.C. right now is Doge and Elon Musk trying to get spending under control at the federal level, where you have departments that have essentially gone rogue, and they're doing things that are far beyond their mission when they were created. The taxpayers are, of course, funding all of it, but these government bureaucracies, these permanent bureaucracies, are pretty much doing whatever it is that they want to do, and it's causing the country to go bankrupt. By reining them in, they hope to avoid seeing the United States go bankrupt as a country. The state of California could use some of those people here trying to keep our agencies under control so they don't drive us all into bankruptcy. One of those institutions that is spending completely like drunken sailors is the Oakland Unified School District. They're spending money at a rapid pace. They have declining enrollment. And as a result, Randy, they could be going belly up.
For the latest on the Oakland schools budget nightmare, here's KPIX.
The Alameda County Superintendent issuing a stark warning to the Oakland Unified School District. Make massive cuts now or potentially run out of cash by November. Dahlin has the latest on...
And then what, all the kids just go home?
Well, they should be closing schools down because they don't have the enrollment to justify all of the schools they have open.
Yeah, but the teachers union said no.
Of course.
Dahlin has the latest on how the district is addressing an urgent budget crisis.
Oakland Unified has been dealing with budget problems for years. Critics argue instead of making tough choices, the school board recently voted to not shut down schools and gave teachers a raise.
How could you do that?
Isn't Cecily's boyfriend on the Oakland school board?
He is. But do you want this in your resume? Do you want this in your biography? That you were the school board member that drove the district into bankruptcy?
Well, this is the thing. When you're talking about a private company overspending, that can happen. When you're talking about a school district, they fully believe that it doesn't matter what they spend, it doesn't matter what contracts they create, the state can bail them out, or they can increase taxes or put another bond on the board. It doesn't matter. It's not their money.
That is the attitude.
The county superintendent says that's leading the district down a path of bankruptcy. OUSD parent Karina Flores and her daughter love their elementary school, International Community School, or ICE.
Wait a second. Isn't that the school that has a homeless encampment right outside of it?
I thought that was the school that had the prostitution ring going on outside of it.
Same school.
International Community School, or ICS, in the Fruitvale neighborhood.
She loves ICS because of her teacher, Miss Sarah, and the homework that she gives her.
That's why it was a big relief.
Miss Sarah?
And the homework that she gives her?
So what, the teachers now go by their first name?
I think when you're in like kindergarten, they do that.
I thought only chiropractors did that. Let's go see Dr. Alex.
That sounds legit.
And the homework that she gives her.
That's why it was a big relief when school board directors voted last month to not shut down ICS.
I went to a bilingual school, so I wanted her to stay in a bilingual school. That's the main reason I chose ICS instead of TCN.
District officials say merge.
I think those schools are right next to each other.
Sounds like a great neighborhood.
Because I believe that prostitution-filled homeless encampment is right next to like 4 different schools.
Well, those kids are getting an education.
District officials say merging 10 schools that share the same campuses would have saved them some money. Board directors instead are looking at laying off administrators and educators. The district is facing a $95 million budget deficit for the next school year.
What do you know? The only thing broker than Oakland Unified is Oakland.
Maybe Sheng Tao will become the next superintendent of Oakland Unified.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you serve that job from prison?
That's a very good question.
And he said, absolutely.
We have to get our priorities in order. We probably try to spend on too many priorities. We've also negotiated almost $100 million in raises. And all of these things together force us to adjust the budget going forward.
Director Mike Hutchinson is also the chair of the budget.
By the way, I think their teacher's contract is up this year as well as LAUSD's. Are the teachers going to ask for another 30% raise?
If you're going broke and everyone acknowledges it and you still give your teachers a massive pay raise, you deserve to go bankrupt.
Director Mike Hutchinson is also the chair of the Budget and Finance Committee. He says the board needs to vote in February to adopt the layoffs so they can send out notices by the March deadline.
If the board does not vote on this budget adjustment package next month, it will trigger a lot of bad scenarios because our budget that we have currently would then be locked in for next year largely, which would then push us over a financial cliff.
I don't think anybody cares.
No. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they just kept going over the cliff and told Gavin Newsom, either you bail us out or we say that you hate poor people or you hate children or you hate ethnic minorities or whatever the case may be, unions.
Oakland Unified went into state receivership in 2003 after taking a $100 million loan from the state. It's set to emerge from receivership next summer.
I don't think so.
How could you pull these people out of receivership when this is how they're running the district?
The Alameda.
Did Oakland Unified ever pay back that loan to the state?
That's a good question.
The Alameda County Superintendent warns if OUSD fails to cut spending, it'll go bankrupt.
You imagine you're the governor of the largest state in the union. You have 58 counties. You have hundreds of cities, some of the biggest population zones. And what's the biggest headache every single day on your desk? Oakland.
They can't do anything right. The city is bankrupt. The school district is bankrupt. Blue chip companies like In-N-Out Burger are closing down profitable locations because the crime is so bad. This is Gavin Newsom's legacy.
The Alameda County Superintendent warns if OUSD fails to cut spending, it'll go bankrupt, stay in receivership, and lose local control.
I don't mind the state taking over. Maybe the state does need to take over to do the checks and balances.
Some OUSD...
I don't know. Tony Thurman's pretty checked out running for governor.
Yeah, I don't think you look at Sacramento and see a Swiss clock, but I guess compared to Oakland, the state is.
Some OUSD parents say they don't trust the district and worry about mismanagement.
We're at the point now where doing nothing is not an option.
No, they're going to do nothing.
Let's just sit back and watch, sir.
And I would argue throwing our hands up and saying, oh, that's just the same old OUSD.
I like how he had to do the sound effect. Wash his hands clean of the situation.
Throwing our hands up and saying, oh, that's just the same old OUSD.
Clap on. Clap off. Clap on, clap off. That clapper.
Well, in Oakland, the lights are going to go off at the school district, but for a different reason. The clapper has nothing to do with it.
Throwing our hands up and saying, oh, that's just the same old OUSD. That's not an option either.
Hutchinson says they have to act fast and make some tough decisions ahead.
No, they don't.
No, they can continue doing what they're doing and have everyone else pay for it.
The teachers' unions, whether it's the Oakland Unified Teachers, whether it's UTLA, they firmly believe, and they're usually right, there always will be more money. We can negotiate the best contract possible. It doesn't matter if it fiscally makes sense because they can go get more money.
Gavin Newsom does not want to run for president as the governor from the state where the teachers union says that he's anti-union and racist. He's going to have to get out the checkbook.
Something Flores agrees with.
Going to be tough. Hopefully, doesn't get really bad, but I guess all we can do is prepare ahead.
A big vote next month on the layoffs and other cuts. District officials say come June, they'll likely have to revisit the idea of merging schools.
You mean the idea that they told you last summer, if you don't do this, the district will be broke? They're not going to do it.
They blew through every stop sign they were given.
The district has about 34,000 students and 77 schools.
The teachers' union obviously unhappy with potential layoffs, with the union president issuing a statement saying, in part, this manufactured budget crisis can be solved by working with Oakland educators to ensure our schools are thriving and joyful places for every student to learn, grow, and dream.
Translation, we need another raise.
Cecily Myart Cruz would say, give me the money.
Get that money. We demand higher pay, but let us keep it real.
That pretty much sums it up.
And I want you to be all the way pissed off.
Well, that too. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
You know, sometimes we get what I like to call a frequently asked question because so many people over the years keep asking the question, even when the person in question of the question isn't necessarily relevant anymore, but it doesn't mean I'm not welcome to answer it. Aaron writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com and said, what the heck is Gascon saying when he says Walloonese allies?
We got some Walloonese allies.
I can't be 100% sure because he speaks gibberish, but I believe what he is trying to say is wobbly knees allies.
How you got that, I don't know, but I believe it.
We got some wobbly knees allies.
I did learn how to speak Jesse Jackson, so I know my sense of gibberish.